Hello, and welcome to the Lunar Lounge, brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priestess of Blosi. I'll be your oracle today, and I was sent to deliberate the findings over the new moon in Aquarius, which will be happening on the 31st in most places of the world of gennaio, that's January. Why don't we go ahead and get out the energies? I'm going to put the ascending energy, also known as the yang. Okay, that's not yang, that's yin. Okay, January 31st. This is the Aquarius New Moon. So the new moon is the High Priestess, and Aquarius is the star card. Why don't we scry? Okay, we got it here. So who knows how long it'll go? We'll just get in here and get these energies going. It's been an honor and pleasure to serve you. Thank you for allowing the privilege and the pleasure to do so. We are aware that you have other viewing options. Thank you for making us one of yours. If anything that is said resonates deeply with you, go ahead and check the information, the energy in the show notes. Let us begin. So this is about receiving, period. And what is it that we're receiving? Well, from the jump, from the start, right out the gate, something's opening up. It's almost like a seal's being broken. That means many different things to many different people. There's been this great creation of the abyssal madness, the deep recesses of our mind, the deep recesses of the collective consciousness. Those were being exploited. It's essentially like we were put in hell, put into oppression. Okay, but it's created abundance. I'm getting that, being buried under soil, but not realizing you're a seed, being put under a lot of pressure and not realizing that you'd come out like a diamond. We didn't realize ourselves, and the oppressor didn't realize that themselves. Some of them did. There was this lust for cruelty. Now, there's this other energy here of chosen children. So there's been a lot of harvesting of souls, I'm hearing. And somehow on the new moon, we're going to plant the seed to illuminate, elucidate, enumerate, and eradicate that energy, that soul harvesting kind of deal. Okay, so for Gemini Rising, the Aquarian New Moon will be in your 9th house. So there's concepts and ideas about belief, philosophy, your approach towards the world. The higher mind. There's some kind of healing. If you are a chosen child, you're coming back into chosen energies, chosen frequency, chosen vibrations, chosen path. There's going to be an awareness over the next 6 months, maybe in philosophy, spiritual belief, higher minded pursuits, long distance travel, education, certifications, qualifications, really just illumination of our own inner philosophy, our own inner mechanism, our own inner relationship with God. There may be some healing happening with the Father as well, I'm detecting. It doesn't necessarily need to be with the Father, whether they're on this side of the veil or the next, but concepts and ideas, stories, opinions, concepts or conclusions we've arrived at maybe sometime in the past about, there is some past story. It can be past lifetime, it can be early in childhood, it can just be that there's history. Somebody does move forward. This person would be, okay, so in Aquarius Rising, the top of your chart would be Scorpio. A Gemini Rising, the top of your chart would be Pisces. So it can also be that somebody's Mars is in Pisces. I'm hearing Saturn in Pisces as well. The Mars in Pisces, you would have aspecting this in what's called an opposition, Virgo. Somebody here has the Mars in Capricorn. Mars is going into Capricorn soon, or is in Capricorn. So what's happening is we're completing our oppression. We're completing our karma. We're completing our punishment, wherever this came from. Maybe we were born with it. Maybe we accumulated it while we were here. It's almost like karma or juju or curses is being burnt off. The spell's not quite broken. But we've done the means, mechanisms, methodologies, even if we didn't have consciously this theory, this technique, this technology of this karmic. The word is karmic expediation. Okay. Now, I'm not just talking to Gemini Rising, but you may be a Gemini Rising. Okay, I'm going to just go, not the full way, but I'm going to go until we have the High Priestess card and the Star card. So it may be all the way, it may not be. I hope this is short, but it can go up to an hour. I apologize. In the future, it'll just be 15 minutes here on the YouTube channel, and then you'll go according to your membership to the temple website. Okay. Yeah, so there was some kind of collaboration. It was a spiritual collaboration in the past. It's arriving at completion. There's some kind of product here, a foundation. It would have come through karmic expediation, almost as if our soul needed to make itself known to us. This would have been our strength, our self-worth and value, strength, courage, and wisdom. Now, if you have a Cancer descendant, we're hearing, hey, Goldfinger, get down, get down. Some people may finally have something paying off. Okay, you could have your sun in Cancer as well. Jupiter in Libra. Mars in Cancer. Mars in Aries, Cancer ascendant. Aries ascendant, Aries rising, basically. Mars in Aries, Sun in Aries. Mars in Aries mostly. If your sun is in Aries, it would be really close to the cusp of Pisces. So this would be 0 to 4 degrees Aries. You would have been born somewhere between the 22nd and the 26th, maybe at maximum the 27th of March. If that doesn't, then it's not, the message is not. Take what resonates. Of course, you may have a special chart, meaning conjunctions, a stellium, something fancy, advantageous even. We're going on the journey here towards triumph, victory. Clearly, we're moving on from something, moving forward. What we're leaving behind is we were under the influence of interference. We might have been blocked. We might have been binded, pinned down. We may have fallen into a hole karmically. Because when there's a new moon in Aquarius, the collective has some kind of readjustment to the path. What does that mean? It means our spirits, mainly the ancestors, would, guides, ascended masters, angels even, would drive something forward. Something on a soul level will come to us physically here in this world. But what was going on behind the scenes is it was a birthright, a divine birthright, but we would have been blocked from it. Now, 2 nights can talk about competition. We have the master of the night here. So this will talk about coming together, a gathering for the purpose of ascension is what I just heard. I was going to say triumph, moving on from what? I know that we're moving on. Okay, so the La Justicia, the justice card, that can mean triumph over evil. I'm seeing a little bit of breaking out of curses, breaking out of spells. It's not always like an actual magic working. It can't just be you got, wooed by some poon poon or something like that, Maybe somebody's fancy footwork got you. Maybe you were ensnared by a narcissist, or this would be not a malignant. It can be a covert, even vulnerable, which is the most benign, that's an oxymoron, benign narco. But we succumb to some kind of, because there needs to be collaboration here. So in the past, there would have been cheating, bickering, backstabbing. We will see some of this come forward, but if it does come forward, it would be for healing, because the solution, basically, the sky opens up, the clouds part, the darkness disperses. Yeah, because we're standing in our self-worth and value here. So there's no way we're not going to negotiate, navigate, matriculate is the word I'm hearing. We're going to drive our life forward according to our passions, drives, desires, soul's ambitions, heart's desires. We need triumph, victory. We need to overcome. I'm hearing the word conditioning, but there's been language, indoctrination. Now, indoctrination is not always bad. So let me give you the positive and the negative. So positively, indoctrination can be, say you're becoming a hairdresser and you have to learn the laws of your state. You've been indoctrinated into being a hairdresser, a beautician, a cosmologist. So you have to learn a lot. Say you become a doctor and you have to pass a state board. You've been indoctrinated into the medical profession of that state. You've taken what's called a Hippocratic oath. Say you get elected, maybe you're on the city council. I'm on an advisory board that has a term myself, So if you go and you run and you get and you take an oath, that's an indoctrination. Okay, but also you can be brainwashed, conditioned, gaslit. Those are all forms of indoctrination. So we've been socialized, is the word that I'm hearing, into something that was given to us, born into it even, inducted into, and now we're aligning. Our self-worth and value is meshing with our will to overcome, our desire to move forward and achieve life's mysteries, the Holy Grail. But it's something that we experience through our own self-knowledge, through unlocking our own mysteries. Once we come into the self-alignment, which again, I was going to say this and now I'm being told you should say it. So this is about finding your true purpose, your true nature, and your soul's purpose, the truth of who you are, your true nature. So when you come into understanding of that, it's basically a spiritual aha moment. Okay, so we just keep having nights. Last time we had 3 nights, 2 nights, and now we have 3 nights here. So 3 nights is a party. 3 queens could be the same thing too, but usually that's competition. The 3 nights, this could also be warfare. This would be open warfare. We do have a 7, which can be wisdom, but also it's a warning. Don't get stuck is what I'm hearing. Caught up. Something's out of control. Now, the sun is about growth, expansion, vitality, renewal, reinvigoration, enlightenment, healing. Okay, grant me this a moment. Okay. It seems spirit doesn't, we're getting a lot of spiritual interference right now. So I feel like something's busted, something's broken, something comes to light, something comes out. And what it is, is that the seeds have been planted for us to be handled. Handled could mean many different things for many different people. Either you're walking the dog or the dog is walking you. Either you're paying rent or you're getting paid rent too. Either you're in debt or you're a creditor where people in debt are paying you. Now, sometimes there's a mixture, a hybrid, but the thing is really, where's the awareness? Where's the self-governance, self-mastery? Where are you self-contained, autonomous? And now we're coming to knowledge, coming to clarity. I'm agitated. Give me a second. I'm so sorry, you all. I really need this background music or my temper. I don't mean it that way, but it's easier to temper the energy. Okay, well, we gotta make a sacrifice. I'm furious. So yeah, I do feel like we were pinned down in some kind of way. And this is the influence. We're breaking free of a bunch of bondage. We're breaking free of bindings. We're breaking free of ties. We're breaking free of illusions. We're breaking free of tethers. We're breaking free of cords. We're now going to have discernment all of a sudden. Now, it would have been painfully slow for a large majority of us. I'm getting that over the last week, we came into knowledge, awareness of seeds that have been planted however long ago. We finally did the last little thing, the last little action, not this decision, not this feeling, not this thought, not this choice. The last action is the tipping point. So this is a tipping point moment for the large majority. Over the next 6 months, we're going to see the world change dramatically, intellectually, philosophically. Now, if you're a Libra, rising, North Node, the new moon will be taking place in your 5th house. So where you go to play, the love you give yourself and others, how you generate opportunities, especially with new relationships, the kind of relationships before your Facebook official. So it's not technically a partnership, a union, a commitment. It's more casual because it's new, you're dating. Now, if you're like a Scorpio or some kind of lesbians, you know, you're committed after the second date. I'm just saying this is the generative energy before you create a partnership. So before the entity of the union becomes an actual union or entity itself, it's just an association and acquaintance. Okay. So there's some type of alignment, balance coming to the past. Work finally shows its fruit. Your insights are beginning to be reflected on the outside. Now, if you're Cancer descendant, the new moon will be taking place in your 2nd house. So there'll be seeds planted around how to move forward on money, how to move forward on foundation, how to move forward on boundaries, on values, on standards. Whatever work's been made in the past, if it hasn't shown fruit over the next 6 months, it will start to show fruit. Now, something's been out of control, something's had a hold of the situation. The world's been under some type of illusion, some type of collective darkness. Also, we haven't been able to access spirituality, our spiritual energy, our higher self that easily. So something finally comes out. Something's finally illuminated, if you would. And what is that? What's finally illuminated? Like I keep saying, the self-worth and value, man. Truly, genuinely, sincerely, self-worth and value. some aspect of our eternal nature. I love to say it that way because I say that word a lot. It's one of my little gorgeousisms, buzzwords. Some aspect of our eternal nature illuminates itself. Growth, expansion, vitality, renewal, reinvigoration, vitality, revitalization, enlightenment, enumeration of illumination. So we'll even be able to test the spirits, detect the source where this light, which is encoded information, is coming from, because encoded information can be indoctrination if you're unaware. Yeah, because we were under some type of confusion spell. It might be the spell of Kingo. That's a collective thing to put the mass population into sleep. They did that by breaking up the map and the language, mainly the language. Yeah, there's a massive healing on the collective. Something takes place where, well, I'm hearing it was about time, a long time in coming. It's been a long time since we haven't known the truth. But way back when we were a divine society, how things went was this. We start our self-initiation in our younger years, in our formative years. We keep planting the seeds, and those seeds are different seeds for different people because different seeds have different quality, but it's the same place that we go to plant ourselves and the world, the community. So we'd come to this world and we'd be born into a sect, a group, a cult, some type of family, really a clan. And our clan would have a skill, and that would create our place in society. Because one point in time, at different times in different periods, we were a collective society, just of a few nations. Okay. Now, we would have our class in society, our station. However, we would be able to ascend said station if we did join the temple or the state. Okay. So temple society is coming back. We're all going to become spiritual beings, and we're going to live and conduct ourselves from a spiritual standpoint. We've always been doing that, but a lack of awareness means something else had our spirituality in its hand. This is just ginger tea with honey and lemon. The ginger tea I make myself. It's ginger, rosemary. I just heard lavender. I did not put lavender in here. Cayenne pepper, but usually it's red chili flakes, ginger, and rosemary. It's a good base for anybody that wants to do Saturn teas, Saturn elixirs. So yeah, it's this healing, revitalization, renewal. We also begin to understand the soul truly, deeply, genuinely, because we're now starting to see ourselves as a collective being. So now that we're getting a little bit of information on the oversoul, we're now having a lot of information on what it's called the undersoul, but the undersoul is another word for primal soul versus oversoul. So we're now getting a little bit of information on the oversoul now. So now we have a lot of information on the primal soul. And that's happening collectively because something is different, something's over. So there's a transition of some kind. We're now working towards alignment because we've been drunk on the matrix, drunk on whatever illusion we've been under. It's been confusion magic. And that's why there were so many nights before. That was a lot of I can't English today. That was an indicator of chaos or conflict as well, conflict magic. And now it's clear confusion magic and conflict magic. So this is a combination of being lulled to sleep. But it can have been like 3 lifetimes, 9 generations of sleep, 14 generations of sunken places, what I'm hearing. Yeah. So now in order to be at peace, there's going to be some change. And there's Aquarius. So by the way, if you are a Sagittarius descendant, it means the moon is going to be new in your 9th house. So, and I'm only going to say this for the signs that get called out. So, again, if you're Sagittarius descendant, that would mean that you are a Gemini ascendant. So, Gemini ascendant, for you, what's happening is your philosophy, your identity as a collective, a sovereign citizen of the universe, a celestial being, it's going to be rewritten. It's going to begin. You're going to have an awakening, a divine awakening over the next 6 months. And it's beginning on the 31st, Gemini Rising. Now, if you're Scorpio Rising, for you, the moon is going to be new in your 4th house. So that's home, heart, love, secrets, but it's self-love. Finally, you're going to have a change. Finally, you're going to have a victory. There's some kind of gain through prudence. Up until recently, you've been wasteful, or things have been wasteful, meaning unrealized potential. There's another word for waste. I don't necessarily need to be judgmental or antagonistic. I do want to say there's abundance from arriving at peace, and the peace is permanent according to our triumph over the devil. So if there's toxicity, internal splendor, external decay, external splendor, internal decay, if there's been debauchery, essentially, wastefulness, confusion, drunkenness, maybe on illusion, maybe on actual substances, maybe there's been a chemical dependency even, those things are going to lift. Now they're not lifting because of work that we're doing. They're lifting because those things are spiritual affliction. So the spiritual nature behind these external afflictions, that's going to begin to dissipate. Now, if you're quite remedial or quite toxic, now the healing's going to be closer to the Aquarian full moon, which is when the sun enters. It's going to be July or August. But if you're on the early end, if you're an early adopter of this ascension, and new moons typically are, especially if you have a strong intention, there's going to be change relatively soon. Within, I would say, 3 months, you'll be mostly, if not fully, out of this toxicity. What I'm detecting right now is a period of a week after you watch this video, and then a month from the time you should arrive at a full healing, or at least a solution that will give you immediate healing. Now, if you're already enacting a solution, there's going to be a change, a transition out of this toxicity over the next 3 weeks. The change will take place over the next 3 weeks all the same. What you're going to be working on right now is coming up, making a choice of some kind. It's not marked by a good choice. So I would advise prudence, because we will be in the Venus shadow period. So what I would tell you about that is, don't move from one uncomfort to the next uncomfort. Don't move from one crisis to the next crisis. You should be able to recognize comfort in between each crisis. Now, conflict is the catalyst for change. Adversity is the catalyst. Conflict creates change. Adversity is the catalyst for success. Harmony in business, harmony in life, harmony in love is fantastic, but there's no change in harmony. There's very little evolution. So a bad mutation is a deformation, and a good mutation is an adaptation, evolution. So there's something that's going to mutate by definition, because the environment surrounding it is going to be different. It's going to start to grow, at least energetically, frequency, energetically, vibrational, vibratory. Jeez, I can English, but not right now. Think about it, even biologically, the beings, the organisms in an environment will change within 5,000 years, genetically, they will have taken on whatever environmental change happened. Okay, so if there's a change right now in the environment and it's biological, within the next few generations, they're already in their DNA showing that adaptation. It's the same thing here. If you stay the same, the environment around you is going to get better. It's going to change. So if you don't change along with it, you by definition get worse. So it's called evolve or die. Okay. And that's the situation here. If you're a Scorpio, like I said, this is going to be happening in your home, in your heart. Okay. And the things that you hold on to, the place where you go to store things, mainly emotions. Also, I'm hearing a little bit of a Kundalini awakening. So there might be some sex addictions. Somebody may be juggling multiple relationships, multiple loves, multiple children. Whatever it is, I'm detecting a large degree of toxicity. But there's a change, there's like a shift, like a reversal or a transition. So most of these reversals are going to be positive. I am detecting some negativity though, in terms of somebody who shouldn't be there gets into the group. Some dirt gets into the dish. A narcissist makes it into the party kind of deal. Especially around gatherings, there's going to be, so we're even going to switch the type of narcissism or the type of collective, communal, social toxicity, malignant behaviors that we see. We're going to trade one devil for a different devil, a more evolved devil. 2/2s can talk about finding balance, but also new friendships, new alliances, not necessarily unions or partnerships. We have a 6, 7, 8 here, so there's a progression. If you are a Capricorn descendant, the full moon will be taking, or Cancer rising, the full moon will be taking place in your 8th house, new moon. So again, that's that toxicity I was talking about. The impetus to grow and to shake off some kind of karmic behavior will be intensified if you're Cancer rising. So now we have Aquarius rising. So for you, Aquarius, the full moon, new moon will be taking place in your 1st house on the 31st. So there'll be some kind of victory because you're at peace finally. Now it will come from a decision. Now, if there was no decision, you would have been waiting for up to a month for something, definitely the last 2 weeks. It would have been placidity. You would have been waiting without an answer. Somebody here might have their Jupiter in Aries, their moon in Aquarius. Their moon in Capricorn. There's going to be a victory here, but you need to prepare. Hard work is the word that I'm hearing. So there's choices and opportunities that will be presented that you need to be ready for, especially in love or unions, all the same. Now, some of these will be spirituality. You may come into awareness of spirituality. Two of Cups doesn't always mean two people. It could just mean two spirits, your spirit and your higher self. I'm hearing the word disincarnate. Now, if you have an Aries descendant, it's a 5th house. It's a 5th house lunar event. So that means the will. Generating the sense of self that's going to renew. For any Libra rising, Aries descendant. Leo rising. Something is accomplished and manifested here. It's nearly completed, and we come in either to gain or to wealth, which can just be a system of abundance, a structure that kind of feeds itself. I'm hearing business. What I'm getting right now is business. Whatever you're doing to manifest and accomplish your dreams, it will create what's called dispersion. People around you will have petty conflict. Now, also, there may be jealousy because the new moon is happening for you, Leo rising in your, and it's not for every rising sign, but for everybody, it's strength, courage, and wisdom. Okay. For Leo rising, there may be evil. Basic witches, basic bitches, basic Beckys coming through and looking at you and becoming jealous for whatever reason, I do not know. Now, you may have your Saturn in Leo, your Venus, your moon in Leo as well. But this is for a Leo rising. If you have a Leo rising, if you have a Taurus descendant, there's things to learn and utilize in respect to policy, protocol, diplomacy even. There is a skill, a craft you've been sitting on that needs to be used, a way of doing things that might be lacking. And there needs to be some higher-minded negotiation, or if you're still going to use your lower mind, you need to be overly logical. I don't particularly like that, but in this case, it would be prudent. Now, love is coming through, so some people need to move in just as fast as they move out, meaning if they show up, let them go just as quickly. You need to find the good in goodbye. Now, if a person leaves, then they come back, we should know what's happened in their absence, where the growth has been. Apply, first of all, order over chaos, Hierophant, but apply system structures, foundations to these returns. This is indicative of the Venus shadow period. Because our power in a situation is going to be illuminated suddenly. I'm hearing pull through. Yeah, so some completions or something's over, wrapped up. Something finally comes forward, which is this healing of some kind. Or a chunk of change finally comes through. We have Virgo out right now. So this would be 5th house. We have 2 5s here. Project might get completed finally. We would have had the impetus. Now we would be masterful here, skillful. We might be trying to overcome someone, something. It can't even be an institution, a lawsuit of some kind. I do detect a bit of loss here. So it might not go well in your favor. And I'm being told it shouldn't. For justice, you're going to have to see things from a different perspective, which you won't be able to do now. There's a lot of boundaries to put down. A lot of disappointment I'm seeing. A lot of needing to surrender. It's because everything's not for our path. Some of us are chosen and we can only go certain places. And even if we go to these places, we can't take everybody with us where we're going. And even if we could straddle the fence before, soon we're not going to be able to because there's a war and it won't be safe on the opposite side, at least for some time. Maybe we can straddle both sides of the fence during peacetime, but during war, you have to choose a side. And you're going to choose for the right team, for the winning team, which is just God's team. Somebody here may have a Pisces descendant. That would be a Virgo rising. For you, that means that the lunar events taking place in your 6th house, so day-to-day repetitive routines, the service you give yourself and others, maybe your coworkers, your boss, your health regimen. Truth is coming, but it will have been needing to break up some kind of illusion, come to things from a different perspective, see things differently even. Shattered illusions is what I'm hearing. That's specifically for Virgo rising. Now you may have your Venus in Virgo that could be debilitated. You would go about things in a masculine way here. You charge and drive forward quickly is what I'm hearing, if that's for you. Okay, so this being set free, the shift in the events here for this lunar, it's gonna be, most of us are gonna be ready to go on the journey. We're gonna have everything that we need to go on a journey of ascension. We won't know it. A lot of us won't even know what ascension is. But we will have had enough collective experience since 2012, which is about 10 years ago. We will have had enough experience to be able to knowingly, unknowingly, willingly, unwillingly, consciously, unconsciously go through this cycle. Because Uranus is no longer even retrograde. Jupiter is in Pisces. There's blessings, but we can't be in the vibration of our old life if we expect vibrations that are blessings that change our life. We need to be in a higher vibration. So the boon, the will of destiny is changing. The will is shifting. It's wish fulfillment season, but we will need it to break out of cycles that aren't serving us. I see a lot of us have been conditioned and programmed to stay, but the universe is isolating us from this person, from this group, from this place, from this thing, from this behavior, from this isolation, separation. Break out, break free. Because it's been a futile endeavor, a fruitless endeavor, foolish endeavor. Okay, so we have the moon, the last one here. Yeah, this is the curse breaking. So finally, our spirit is ours again because a curse got broken. Sometimes it's just a spell. We broke out of something. We were let out of hell even. This is wish fulfillment, but only after harshness, ruin. Let me pull. Cosmic Activation Card for the Soul by Nadia Anastasia. I'm hearing a Lion Babe song. I don't even know the words. Get down, get down, get down. Okay, we got two, Celestial Teacher and Cosmic Connection. So I was saying, like, we're bursting out of cycles. We're having to leave people behind, but we're walking into new people, places, and things. There was a lot of love, but spiritual love. So I was also seeing forced isolation. And I was seeing us being given a chance or two, a chance or three, being warned by the universe twice or thrice, and then the tower would hit. We have Celestial Teacher number 7. And Cosmic Connection number 11. I'll be reading card number 7 on page 35, and that's Celestial Teacher. You are a spiritual being with unlimited potential. There is much for you to share. Affirmation: I am confident as I embrace the teacher within me. I courageously share love, light, and peace within this world. This card represents your ability to manifest reality of your own choosing. You have come a long way, and this world of manifestation that you now find yourself in reflects that wisdom, insight, and clarity you have embraced so far. If you're drawn to this card, Spirit is encouraging you to share this wisdom with the world. Unlimited power, light, and sacred knowledge flows through you, for your heart is open to your mind, which is now clear. Trust in your abilities as a teacher, for you have a strong connection with the universal energies of love. Allow Divine Spirit to speak through you and trust in this process that is unfolding. Trust yourself and trust that you know. Let go of any doubts or inhibitions that keep you from taking the next step. By not embracing and sharing the wisdom you hold, you deny the world the opportunity to experience your unique healing light. Many gravitate towards radiant souls who stand empowered. You are a natural teacher, dear one, with natural counseling skills. By speaking your truth and sharing the lessons you have learned, inspire others to find the courage within them to do the same. Your own unique celestial light, with the gift and guidance of Spirit, will bring you much love, peace, clarity to this planet. The increased awareness and light you have now gained is an invaluable resource that will inspire many. Release any doubts and hesitation. Be the divine soul you came here to be. Be the light, love, peace, and stillness that this world so desperately seeks. Affirmation. I'm confident as I embrace the teacher within me. I courageously share love, light, and peace with this world. Associated chakras are the heart, the crown, and the third eye. That was Celestial Teacher. Card number 7, Nadi Anastasia's Cosmic Activation Cards for the Soul. Let's read Cosmic Connection on page 43, card number 11. You're connected to cosmic intelligence. Your vibration is being raised to higher levels. This card brings the message of divine support and illumination. Your vibration is being raised to higher levels with greater understanding, insight, and perception. It is no coincidence that you are finding yourself in sync with new people whose vibrations are at a similar frequency to your own. These new connections are bringing you greater clarity and reflecting the radiant light within you. Yes, there are challenges that surround you, challenges that can really tug at your heartstrings, but please understand that these challenges come to you at this time to help you grow and evolve to higher states of consciousness. The universal energy of love has sent beautiful light-filled souls to guide your way and assist you through this transition. Not only do you have these wonderful earthly guides, but also the assistance of loving cosmic guides from a higher dimension. You are a visionary of love. Through the raising of your own vibration, you will assist others to awaken. Spirit sees your hunger and desire to change. It is your passion and thirst for planetary healing. Rest assured, your dreams and visions will come to fruition, but first, your own vibration and light needs to be raised. This opportunity comes to you through the challenge you currently face. You see, dear one, the understanding gained from these challenges and the healing they bring will be the precursor to your own increased light. Keep going and know that you are not alone during this time. Affirmation, I am illuminated, inspired, and grateful for this opportunity to expand in the light of pure consciousness. Again, heart, throat, third eye, and crown. It's been an honor and pleasure to serve you. Thank you for allowing the privilege to do so. If anything that was said resonates deeply with you, go ahead and help yourself to the resources in the show notes. Until we meet again, namaste, dandavat, and ashe. Goodbye, everyone.